Well, Freaksters, we knew that it would happen. We finally made it to a kung fu flick. Only this one is what you would expect from us here at the Moratorium. You see, Riki-Oh is not just any kung fu flick. It's probably the sickest, grossest, and most hilariously choreographed kung fu flick out there. And this week we have a little help to break this one down. Cue the music.
Yeah, they're dead. They're all messed up.
And now for our lesson.
Penis.
Penis, penis, penis.
Penis. Penis.
Penis.
Penis. Penis.
Penis.
Your pronunciation is perfect. It's just you keep on saying penis.
Could you try something else? Okay. Vagina. Vagina. Vagina.
Then he goes straight into Grace Jones and Boomerang.
Okay.
Where she just keeps saying, pussy, 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 pussy.
Oh, yeah. Every man wants this pussy.
That was not a good movie.
I have no idea what you guys are talking about, and I'm glad. It's an Eddie Murphy movie.
That's all you need to know.
Okay. That's all I needed. I did not know.
It was like he was a player or something, and then he was getting played. I don't know.
Yeah, it was a classic, like, flip the script on the, Playboy type guy. And
The honeypot kind of deal?
well, and then, of course, I'm guessing he finds love or whatever the fuck that was about.
With Grace Jones?
Oh.
No, I think with Robin Givens, actually, in that, wasn't it?
What?
Can you find love with Grace Jones?
I don't know
You could
about-
probably find angry sex with Grace Jones.
Yeah, not in the traditional sense.
Remember when she was in Conan the Destroyer?
Oh, yeah.
You saw her butt.
And then she grabbed like Tracy Walter and was like, eat my pussy.
Yeah, and she had like a horse's tail, too. Remember?
Yeah.
And a weird hat.
Well, it's like a foxtail, I think. That's big.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's big at Ren Fair.
How was that attached?
That was the one with Wilt Chamberlain.
Yeah.
Right.
That was a dumb movie.
Didn't she wear like leather bra or something? Can you
Yeah.
imagine how chafed those nipples are?
I think she's probably...
She's a pro. She probably taped.
It's not her first rodeo, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
I'm thinking she kind of enjoyed that.
Yeah, probably. Getting knocked around by Mako or whoever. Is Mako even in that one?
Yeah.
Good. Feel like I'm on solid ground.
Whew. Our first Asian reference in this podcast. Thank you, Jason.
There are going to be a lot of really hard to pronounce names in this.
I'm not going to get any of them correct. Not even close.
No. I've been listening to a British man say all these names. So that's even another, it's not the way that they're normally said. It's confusing.
But did he pronounce them right?
I assume, but he also has a British accent, and I'll tell you about that guy when we get started. He's got a ton of IMDb stunt coordinator credits.
Yeah.
Which I only had time to look him up. I didn't look up the other guy that he's talking to, but he's like a Chinese film historian.
I had a difficult time looking up anybody because it's just kind of...
Well, they all have 5 different names. Yeah. And that's the same for the cast of characters in it also. They all have several names, but then they also have really simple American names. Like the one guy's name is Tarzan and
Zorro.
Yeah.
And then there's Alan and Steve and
Jerry.
Oscar.
Yeah, they're all names that we, they're not common anymore. They're old-timey names.
You said Tarzan, and I thought his name was Tarzan, but it reads in the credits as Taizan, Taizan.
It's like in the movie, instead of it being Riki-Oh, everybody calls him Riki-Oh,
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yes.
which Riki-Oh, the story of Ricky, in case you forgot.
Yeah, that's spelled two different ways.
Which is the title of this week's movie, if our audience didn't understand that by now.
I did not realize we were doing a podcast.
That's right. I'm back. It's Revenge of the Motherfucker.
Revenge of the Motherfucker.
I'm back to dish out some fun with Tim and Jason here on this week's episode of The Moratorium. Ricky,
wow.
The story of Ricky.
Joe, are you replacing Tim?
I think so. Except he hasn't introduced himself, so nobody knows who the fuck's talking right now.
I told everybody it's Return of the Motherfucker. I am Motherfucker.
That's your podcast name.
It's my call sign.
The Motherfucker. THA? Yeah, like a Wu-Tang Clan name?
Yeah, it ends with an AH. Motherfucker.
Okay. Good. Motherfucker.
Is that a moniker or is that a CB handle?
A little both. A little column A, a little column B.
Can a CB handle be a moniker? What does moniker mean?
I think it's French for CB handle.
Yes.
Okay.
I'll be the Delta lady. I don't know if
All right, guys. Well, welcome to the Moratorium.
Thank you.
Hey.
Hey, it's good to be back.
We are breaking down the 91?
Yep, 91. 91.
The Japanese, or is it Chinese, or is it Hong Kongian?
See, we're already
Yeah,
there's already confusion. I read it is supposed to be a Chinese-Japanese kind of co-production.
Look at these.
Yeah, that's...
You knew it was going to happen.
Oh, man.
I just collapsed into myself somehow. Anyway, but there's not a lot of Japanese people involved in it, if that's the case. Tarzan, the giant dude, that guy is so big. He is one of the only like Japanese actors that I notice they're all primarily Chinese.
Okay.
One of the other people in the movie that was actually kind of familiar was, I think, one of the Japanese actors, the guy that plays Tiger in You Only Live Twice, one of the Sean Connery James Bonds. He's like the guy who trains Sean Connery to be a ninja or some shit.
Right. Oh man, that movie is so funny.
Yeah. Tiny helicopter. It's the best.
Since we're 10 minutes into the podcast and I still haven't introduced you, let's go right ahead. With me, as always, is Jason Walker.
Hi. This is the sound of my voice.
And we have a special guest this week. If you haven't figured it up, it's Mr. Motherfucker himself. Or motherfucker? What'd you call yourself?
Please, Tim, it's motherfucker.
Oh, okay.
Supreme Motherfucker.
Supreme Joe Lackey.
Hey, what's going on, y'all?
And we brought Joe along this week because he knows a lot more about Japanese, Chinese. Look at these.
Dirty knees, Tim.
Dirty knees.
Always forget the dirty knees.
Done dirt cheap. No, that's dirty deeds, not dirty knees.
That's true. It doesn't matter because this will all be cut out anyway, right?
Sure. As I say every week, I'm cutting that out, and there's
Still ends up in it.
all of it is still there.
I just want us to keep the racial slurs to a minimum.
All right.
I mean,
I guess I won't be talking for the rest of the episode.
that's all you speak in is just...
I can rein myself in. I don't know about you white devils.
Yeah.
Nope.
I'm ashamed.
I will be the one laughing at Kwong Pong Chan.
You already did last podcast.
Chung Fung Kwok.
Oh, man. I don't like the way you say that.
Phillip Kwok.
Oh, like a quack pot? You make like a roast in there?
And there's the Jason I know.
Cut all that out.
You were saying before it is kind of a co-production between the Hong Kong sort of action market and some Japanese folks.
Yep. It's a Golden Harvest film.
But it's also Tokyo Shock produced, so...
Man, we might never get to the bottom of it, but at least we got that part of it right. If you guys are that interested, then just look at the Wikipedia.
Yeah.
Of course, I could too, but...
Yeah.
But I distinctly remember there being different versions of this, and the one that I watched yesterday was even a different version with, like, added scenes, specifically, like, gory scenes.
But I haven't watched this in 20 years.
Yeah, it had been forever since I had seen it too. And I was like, oh, it's just as glorious as I remember.
Oh, yeah.
But I remember, I don't know, maybe it was just because it shocked me more. I remembered it being even more graphic than it was, or maybe we just came off of watching Dead Alive just recently. Yes. It's like, this is breakfast food.
Well, also, did Braindead predate this?
You'd think we could retain some information.
Well, I've got a lot of tabs open. Okay, so this came out the same year as Dead Alive.
Okay.
And it really reminded me a lot of Dead Alive, at least the, how the gore was handled, kind of, it's like slapstick a little bit. It is disgusting, but it is done in kind of a humorous way,
Something they mentioned in that commentary that you sent me the link that had a commentary to it. And even they were stating that they thought it was just, gory and cheap. And I enjoy, you could tell where it transposed into like this real cheap effect.
Yeah.
But it was fun. It was all in good humor. But they were also talking about the rating system over there.
Right.
And that it has a 1, 2, and 3.
Yes.
Most of the 3s that were 18 and over are sexual related,
right,
getting that sort of the rating system. And this got it because of its gore factor.
Right.
Yeah, you can't have as much of the sex, so they're like, okay, we'll turn the gore up to 12.
Yeah, exactly. Also, how cool does a Category 3 rating sound? That's, it's like X rating, but that would just make me, want to watch it all the more.
That makes me think of hurricanes. So are there rating systems for hurricanes like this is a PG hurricane? This is a PG-13 hurricane.
It's like on King of the Hill where that tornado pulled his pants off.
There's loads of other good stuff that's, if some of the listeners might not be hip to it, some of the other stuff in the kind of Tokyo Shock sort of genre
catalog.
Yeah, like the Machine Girl.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Bio Zombie.
Yes.
Tokyo Zombie. Tokyo Gore Police.
Yes.
Vampire Girl versus Frankenstein Girl.
I need to see that. But this also predates a lot of those, don't you think? Or are those 80s movies or?
No, probably late 90s or later. Like some of them are, more recent.
First of all, this is adapted from manga, so as I was looking, I've read the manga for this, which is just called Violence, which I think is really cool.
Awesome.
It's actually called Violence Man. I saw the cover with that on it.
That's even better.
Which also is pretty cool. Violence Hero, if that makes you feel better about him, like knocking people's heads off.
Violent Hero.
Oh man, the soundtrack writes itself.
Oh, yeah.
That's something rewatching this is noticing how, like, human of a hero Riki is. Everybody's who's trying to kill him, and it seems like at every turn, they're about to die, and he's like, come on, I'll help you out.
Yeah. Yeah, he is definitely a good guy.
Yeah.
He also just does that, I think it's called Qigong, which is just like self-healing, Oh, he's like constantly keeping the bullets from, well, we'll get to that in a minute, I guess. But
well, and that's something that it kind of reminded me of with, was it Dragon Ball Z? how the like Super Saiyans, they'll get beaten down to almost death, and
Yes.
if they heal back, they come back even stronger than before.
Right.
So he has a lot of that similar sort of makeup, it seems.
Yeah. I mean, he has like catastrophic things happen to him. Like the tendon scene was really cool.
Yeah.
But he's fine. He just needs like a good night's sleep afterwards. He's fine after that.
5 bullets in the chest better than Michael Myers took hit 6,
Yeah, exactly.
Now, there are 2 manga Japanimation films. They're about 45 minutes long that I watched in conjunction with this.
Oh, okay. Yeah. The Wall of Hell.
Yes. I watched that, and there's also the second one.
Child of Destruction.
Yes, Child of Destruction.
So that video, The Wall of Hell, I think is the first anime, and it was in 89.
And that basically is the same movie that we're watching today.
Yeah, he has the camouflage parka, and
yes,
which I didn't remember. He does have in that one scene where he confronts the guys after the.
Well, it's more like a poncho, but yeah.
Yeah.
Poncho, parka.
Trash sack. I want one of those, but not all pitted out like Ricky would have left it. I bet there's some blood and sweat.
Just stinks of rage and...
Mm-hmm.
Why is he going to prison in the first place? What do we know?
Well, he goes in for manslaughter because...
I think that's what it said. He had manslaughter and sentenced to 10 years.
Yeah, something like that. And you do find out, like, what Jason was saying whenever he goes to confront the guy. That's how all that sort of plays out. Is, I guess, they kidnap Ricky's girlfriend.
Yeah.
And they're going to do all sorts of unspeakable things to her, basically turn her into a sex slave is the kind of impression that you get. And she doesn't see any way out of it other than just throwing herself out of a...
Suicide.
Yeah, out of a window or off of a building.
Which that all is kind of glossed over in the movie. Like,
yes.
There's one scene.
One scene, very quick.
I probably would kill myself if I had to sleep on that mattress that she was on, but it doesn't... other than that...
It could be bed bugs there.
Right. That apartment was so bad that she flung herself off of the roof.
The feng shui was all wrong.
Yep.
So she just flung shuied her way out the window.
Flung shuied herself.
Well, shit, the prison that Ricky ends up in is cleaner than that fucking apartment. Jesus.
Yeah, the prison's nice. When they first pull up with him in that van, that whole, like, cement pad has blood all over it.
I wondered if that was blood, because it looks wet.
They slaughtered a cow or something right there. You're right. I think it is red, painted red, and then there's water on it, so it makes it look like blood.
Because that first room they go into, the floor is red.
Yeah. But the prison itself is immaculate. You're right. It is a very nice it's a private prison.
Yeah, it's privatized, so, I mean,
yeah.
I guess they can afford a maid.
Well, and then you find out later that they're using all the prisoners to grow poppies for heroin, I suppose. Isn't that what was happening?
Yeah.
This story is not that complicated.
No.
I mean, it makes you ask questions about why things happen like they do, like the fact that all of the prisoners are able to just like wander around at all times of the night. Ricky is like walking around loose at midnight, and all those other guys were there too. What were they doing?
At one point, they're doing like a little sort of exposition, like after one of the guys gets killed, and it's like, cells full of guys all talking and everything. And then it gets down to the end and there's Ricky and he's got his own cell.
When we get to the prison, so we get to introduce to 3 different inmates. The first one, it just said that he was given 7 years for assault. Mm-hmm. But Ricky is for manslaughter, and he got 10 years. So he got pretty easy here.
That guy also seems like it's like a little old man kind of in this one, or just like slightly older than everybody else. But in the manga, it's like a, full grown man who looks like he's in there for some type of like, white collar crime or something. But he also is the guy with the wooden train.
So he walks through the metal detector, and they think that he's carrying a weapon, so they
Right.
start to attack him like right away.
Right.
I don't see any bullet holes in his chest because they said he's got like 6 bullets.
5, I think, right?
I'm sorry. 5 bullets still inside him.
Right.
They throw him against the wall to get like this x-ray scan.
Yeah.
These guards are totally getting radiated, by the way.
Yeah, they need to wear some type of protective clothing.
Well, and here's the other thing. The bullets inside of his chest set off the metal detector, but not his metal belt buckle.
Yeah, I thought about that too.
I was like, wait a minute.
Those pants are hiked up so high, they're like right under his nipples.
They're like mom jeans or something. I
Yeah,
don't
exactly. They're like Van Damme's pants in every movie he's ever in.
Yeah.
It's like he puts them on like a shirt somehow. Also, that guy, was that train like in his butt? Or like, where did he hide that? That was quite a large wooden train.
They mentioned this in that commentary thing that these guys pull out stuff out of the inside of their
Yeah.
outfits like all the time.
Which are basically just pajamas.
Yeah.
And he's got like a planer in his.
Yeah.
They plane his face. That really made my balls kind of tighten up. Like, that would hurt so bad if your face was planed.
Yeah.
I love the dummy falling down on the piece of wood with the fucking nails sticking out of it.
Which this made me think of another prison movie that I watched just recently, which was Brawl in Cell Block 99, was it?
That was a cool
With
flick.
Vince Vaughn.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good flick, but they did the same type of thing. But I think you could tell when it went to like a dummy, when it went to a prosthetic. And I think they particularly showed that so they could play down the violence.
Maybe. Or it was, you're saying that it wasn't amateur filmmaking. They did that on purpose to make it seem more.
Yeah, the more comical it appears, then it's like, oh, this is just so ridiculous. It can't possibly be real.
Yeah, don't take this seriously.
But you're right. That planer that he had just inside his...
Yeah, in his pajamas.
In his pajama bottoms, maybe. I don't know. That was huge.
Yeah.
Where was he hiding that?
I don't know. If you sat down wrong, it would really have a bad day.
We had that and the train.
Yeah.
And the train. The train's like the size of like a loaf of bread, and he had it in his pajamas. Although I was thinking this whole time, those clothes look really comfortable.
Yeah.
So that might be what I'm moving to, just kind of all pajamas all the time.
So where did that piece of wood with the nails, where did it come from?
Was it a part of the train?
No.
If it was way too big.
It was hastily put together train.
Yeah.
Why did he have like a dozen nails in a board?
Yeah.
Like
It was an excessive amount of nails.
I think the length of Ricky's hair changes throughout
does.
this film. Yeah.
I think that's the last time that you see it that long, and it's considerably shorter.
I dig it, though.
Yeah, he does have good hair. I mean, again, they make him look exactly like he does in the manga.
And how funny is it that all the guys there in the bathroom while all this is going on, they're like, I think even one of them says, well, what can you do? And they all just turn around and immediately start pissing in unison.
We'll wait for the janitor to clean all that up.
Well, time to go back to practicing for the synchronized pissing event at the Olympics.
Exactly. Let's go tend to our gardens. So the old man that they plane his face, I had to watch this a couple of times because that's the first real kind of like plot thing that you have to figure out. But he hangs himself because those guards told him that I think he thought that he was going to get out soon.
Right.
And then they said, no, that violated something. So now you're really screwed. And he hangs himself.
Like the gangs also control, a lot of who gets better treatment, who's going to get their parole and stuff sooner.
The reason why he was in prison was because he was taking his wife to the hospital because she was going into labor.
Oh, right.
And
he hit somebody.
hit somebody who just happened to be
a cop.
And that's why he got a harsher sentence. That otherwise it would have been played off as an accident.
Right.
Well, yeah, but that is kind of the going thing in this prison is that, you know, people will come in for even some serious offenses or whatever, and
right.
they just get more and more time added.
Yes.
Well, this or that.
And that goes into the corruption of the privatized prison system.
Yes.
Let's get political here.
Let's not. But you are right. Yes, that's exactly what happens.
I think the warden brings this up too, is that no, you don't let anybody die. Don't let anybody get killed in this because that's just money.
Yeah.
Because we're getting money per each head.
Right. Yeah.
Beyond the poppy farm that they have that they're
poppies. Riki-Oh later pulls that same train out of his fucking shirt.
Oh, he put it back together.
Yeah.
Did he tie a string to it to keep it in there? Was it his pecs? I think his pecs kept it like holding it in the middle.
He's got it clenched between his butt cheeks.
Yeah. Yeah. If you can walk with a wooden train clenched between your butt.
That's why he walks so slow. Right?
Yep.
Splinters.
Yeah.
Anus.
Yep.
Yeah. Nothing like anus splinters.
Ew. So, he does some Kung Fu in the Rain, which is also a good, like, album name.
Yeah, he does Angry Rain Kung Fu.
We were just watching him in his cell and he was like flexing. He was in his cell, but now he's roaming around in the courtyard free in the rain.
That's what I'm saying. They have a lot of freedom. Also, his hair is back in the shower scene. His hair is 4 or 5 inches longer again.
In the animated version of this, when he goes and this is played out in the movie, that the guy who's dead, they're getting ready to take him off to bury him, is still handcuffed.
Yeah, and he breaks the cuffs.
Right.
In the animated version, they were saying, well, he was a prisoner in life, and therefore he is still a prisoner while he's being buried, or something like that.
I thought Ricky was just going to break his hands off for a minute because he's holding his wrists, but then he grabs the chain. I was like, really did not want to see him rip that. I mean, I guess do want to see him do that, but
this little, Kung Fu in the Rain bit he's really angry about this guy dying. He just met him. He's very upset over. And right. I think he's fighting the raindrops. That's why he's moving so fast. He's just...
Maybe. But that's also what I was going to say is, like, there is not a lot of fighting in this movie. It's basically just setups for gore scenes, The only kung fu that you see Ricky do really is those little, like, drills by himself, It's not a fighting movie.
There's a little bit of fight there at the finale with the warden, but...
That's true.
Big Boy comes in, and what is his name?
Just wails him across the bathroom.
Okay, now wait a minute. That's something I wanted to talk about too. They brought it up in the commentary, which is, a lot of these stunts are done with ropes and pulleys and harnesses and shit like that. So when half of your cast is without a shirt a lot of the times, which they are, they have to figure out different ways to, jerk somebody 10 feet back like this scene. They must have it around his waist or something, because it happens a couple of times where people hit Ricky and the actor is flung like 10 feet back and does not, because this guy that plays Ricky, man, I can try to pronounce his name, but I'd rather not. Su Wong Fan is his name. He is a stuntman. They were talking in the commentary about him being kind of a, skinny, good-looking leading man type. And then he, did a couple of kind of light, roles and then just went away and got fucking jacked and then came back and, now he's in stuff like this.
I love he gets stabbed in the hand with the giant, 16 penny nail. Yeah. Until he makes the little eek, 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 eek. As it comes up.
Exactly. And then he pulls it out of that so fake looking hand, that arm that pops up.
And then he just punches through the guy. a couple times.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
The camera is in the, like, takes it all. It's, like, right there next to it, and it just, like, gets...
It's a gallon of
splattered
Caro syrup blood thrown on it.
Mm-hmm. Are we watching the scene where the warden is eating his disgusting feast
That's
yet?
not the warden, actually. That's the assistant warden.
Oh, you're right. The warden is in Hawaii.
Man, I don't know. The warden is so gross.
Well, the assistant warden keeps mints in his glass eye.
Yeah. They look like those non-perils that you put on, like, cakes and stuff. You know what I mean? Like those little
hard
like,
candy sprinkle.
Yeah, they say they're edible. I dare someone to eat some of those. You just chip your tooth.
Yeah, they come out whole like corn.
Yes, exactly. They do not digest.
We skipped over the whole training session with Ricky as a little schoolboy.
Oh, Uncle Ghost. Yep. And his Uncle Ghost, appears to have been grooming him for the last few years.
Is that right?
I don't know. He gave me a very weird vibe when you see him. The way he's kind of looking at him like George Takei, like kind of coyish.
That's funny
you know,
you'd say that because I wrote him down as Japanese Leonard Nimoy.
Mm-hmm. I see that too, like when he goes to that plant, or when he goes home, isn't it?
Yeah,
like,
it's the voyage home. It's part 4, right? Yeah.
Yep, he's got that same headband. Weird, Tim. That is wild.
So I'm guessing you guys are talking about his uncle is like master that trains him.
Yes, Uncle Ghost.
His name is Tetsuro Tanba. That is the gentleman I was telling you was in the Sean Connery, James Bond, You Only Live Twice.
Oh, okay.
He plays as Tiger. It's like James Bond's Japanese contact.
Yeah. Tiger Tanaka or something. Isn't that his name? All right, I'm looking him up. That's a good one, Joe.
We're in a cemetery, right? A Japanese cemetery?
Yes. That Uncle Ghost, is he just there paying respects or something?
Or is he a ghost?
Oh, Tim.
So Ricky is just a vengeful spirit.
Oh, my God.
Going out and seeking justice.
I guess.
I don't think we can confirm any of this.
No, we can't. A quick Google search might do it, but let's not get carried away.
I mean, that's headcanon for me now. I'm just saying.
Yep.
This whole cemetery training session, though, is this supposed to happen over a long period of time that he was been training and getting faster? Because he was a schoolboy when he walked in, and now he's...
Right. He did do a little demonstration for Uncle Ghost when he still had the school clothes on. But also, these are people's tombstones, right?
They are desecrating graves in the name of training.
I mean, maybe that's just how they do shit in
I guess.
Wherever this is.
This is how they make gravel over there. They just destroy headstones.
Yeah, like, and here's Grandma.
So now we have Assistant Warden Captain Hook here, eating the world's bloodiest steak.
Oh, that steak is gross, but it was still kind of tantalizing. I was kind of getting hungry watching him.
Yeah. I was just wondering if that is meat or if it's like Jell-O that they've like
gross. It is
painted
gross.
to look like a...
And did you guys notice his insane VHS collection that he's got too?
Yes,
all porn.
All porn.
It's just a flesh-colored wall with boxes on.
Actually, I think it's all porn and Disney movies.
Yep. He also has 4 McDonald's burgers on a plate. He's going to get to those later.
This is Riki-Oh's real father.
Yeah.
Playing this role.
No way. I missed that. That's interesting.
Yeah, that's the only bit of trivia I actually have for you.
You took away
it was
from it.
Mi Xing Fan plays Cyclops Dan.
Huh.
It's my best name ever.
The big Japanese dude in this, his name is Tarzan or Taizan or whatever you guys said, but is there not an Elvis in this? I swear, maybe I'm thinking of another.
No, there's the guy named Zorro, and then there's Tarzan.
Zorro, Tarzan.
And then the K-pop looking bad guy.
Yeah.
Named Rogan, I think.
Yeah, Rogan.
I'm not sure what the crochet needles and the frosted bangs. I'm not sure what his name is.
Yes. That guy was cracking me up. He sort of looked like a midget, right? Like a little person? I don't know. Maybe it was the hair that was throwing me off.
Yeah, that haircut wasn't doing him any favors, but, you know.
Mm-mm.
He was already kind of a strange-looking guy.
Right. The K-pop, not Yukio. Where did I have that written down? I've got that character's name written down.
Rogan.
That is a woman.
Is it? Because
Yeah, Rogan.
I was wondering, because I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's a lady, but...
Why am I attracted to Rogan all of a sudden?
The character has that sort of, androgynous K-pop star look.
Yes.
Did it seem weird to you, though, that now that you know that this is actually his father, his real father, is mocking him with his girlfriend, saying that he's going to be bringing her to the prison? That's just awkward.
And to have a long talk after that. They just held each other and cried for a long time after that. That scene, for whatever reason, I did not... All of this is just incomprehensible, but in the manga, he has a Star of David scar on the top of his hand. I don't know what that's about.
It doesn't show it in the movie, and it doesn't explain anything.
No, I didn't think it did.
In the Riki-Oh Child of Destruction, he has a twin brother who has a swastika on his hand.
Okay.
So, just real quick, is anybody else disturbed at how Ricky got his flute into prison?
Oh, it looks... That is not stain. That is not Minwax that he put on that.
I don't think that's shellac.
Gross.
And he gives it to the kid.
Yeah, here. Wrap your lips around this.
There you go. Don't ask how I got this in, bro.
Yeah. The guy playing it just takes it away, and he's just got a brown mustache.
Oh.
Sorry.
Yep, that's what you came here for, folks, is dick, fart, and poop jokes.
Yeah, that's the level of... And pee in your PJs. I like those two comic relief guys.
What's coming up here, I guess, is the guy who's the prison rat, and, they're deciding, what to do with him, so... Yeah, they're like, yeah, we're going to make you eat shit and lick my shoes. And the other guy's just pulls out a giant sword.
Yeah, where did he get that sword?
Andrew, where did you get that big saw blade sword?
He's like, I made it.
I want to know what that is, too, because that looks gnarly.
Well, okay, so that also that's the guy that got us into this in the first place, Phillip Kwok.
Okay,
did you say Kwok, did you say?
Kwok, did you say?
This is also almost scene for scene from Fist of the North Star, because they're trying to get this guy to, saw that guy's head off. And the scene where that big, jagged, machete kind of clatters to the floor after he chops that guy's head in half, which is just a dummy.
Hey.
That's very poorly done. That guy, scurries away from that knife. Identical scene to Fist of the North Star. So it had to have some type of, if they're paying homage to that show or something. What do I know?
So this big guy, this big muscly tattooed guy is Phillip Kwok, right? No, is the other one?
That's the guy that got the knife to the face.
And here it comes.
Thunk.
I love them. The dummies just kind of twitching and blood's coming out of his head.
Yeah. All the effects are the exact same. It looks like how they did the doctor's hands in The Thing. It's basically just Jell-O that's been painted flesh colored, and then they just cut pieces of it off. And
the original Evil Dead, where it's just a chunk of bologna stuffed with fake blood.
Yeah. It's making me hungry.
We're talking to the assistant warden right now as he's talking about trying to get back at Ricky.
Right. He also looks, I mean, they got that guy's like wardrobe, the costume and everything perfect. The little coke nail and the gold rings. It's like exactly how he looks in the manga. Also, this is like the coolest scene out of the movie where he is sitting on that giant cross as Ricky walks up to him. Except for the really bad like mannequin that they have tied to that thing. It looks so cheap.
So the assistant warden does take out his eyeball, shakes it into his hand, and says, "Do you want some mints?"
No, thank you. I'm fine. See, now I'm a little confused because now that is Phillip Kwok that is not crucified, but he's just chained to that giant cross.
Yeah, is it not the guy who just got the knife to the face, right?
Yes.
Yeah, the blade to the face.
So why does Ricky, to me, that guy is a bad guy also, you know? You're meant to think that Ricky's like avenging him or something?
It doesn't matter if you're a good guy or a bad guy. Ricky's just trying to save everybody.
I guess.
Because the same thing happened with Tarzan or Taizan.
Yeah,
later.
he turns into his friend at the end.
Yeah.
That's pretty common, though, for like, you know, kind of befriend the big dumb dude. So when he dies later, you have a little like kind of sentimental moment.
The first animation is almost exactly the same as the movie here.
The same story?
Yes. I mean, it's the same, almost scene by scene even.
I would watch that. I'm surprised I've never seen it.
They're on YouTube, and I'll put links up to the website.
Yeah.
So he's fighting. I don't even know what this guy's name is.
I don't either. He's one of the four, what do they call them? The Gang of Four or something? Yeah. So we know who two of the Gang of Four are. Tarzan and Yomi, or Rogan. So that's the girl and the big Elvis-looking dude.
And then Oscar, the guy with the tattoos.
Okay.
And then the guy with the sewing needles.
Who, that guy kind of remind me of, well, the sewing needles and stuff, but like Ninja Scroll, you know? That Rogan is kind of like the big guy's girlfriend a little bit, you know? Or boyfriend, however you...
Okay.
And they talked with those strings in their mouths. Joe, you know what I'm talking about?
Ichigaru?
It's like they split up a couple of characters and...
Yeah.
Okay. The prison gang leaders were called the Gang of Four, but in Cantonese, they're called the Four Heavenly Kings.
Which sounds way more badass.
Yes, than what was actually going on.
That's something that I've heard people talk about whenever they, reference a lot of the Asian languages and stuff. Like the literal translations to what they're saying more often than not, it sounds so poetic.
Yeah.
It's like just the simplest, like asking to go to the coffee shop or whatever. It sounds like you're asking, Lord Byron or something.
Right. Yeah, we like dumb it down so us dumb Americans can like understand the concept of it.
So we can grunt our way through it. Yeah.
That guy that kind of looks like a large Peter Dinklage with the frosted hair, his name is just White God.
Oh,
I just saw it flash across the screen. So... if that's God, I mean, it's starting pretty low. That guy is weird looking.
So they crucified the one guy with a huge cross.
Yeah.
In the middle of the yard. He's fighting this big bad dude.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he throws glass or something in his eyes and blinds him.
From the sheath. That's pretty cool.
And he slashes his arm, and that's where he does, like you were saying, about he ties his own tendon off with his teeth. And
that was pretty badass.
That was badass.
Yeah, it's awesome. Oh, and pops his eye out.
He kind of like Three Stooges him. He just kind of slides out of the way and just pops him on the back of the head. It's like a chihuahua.
Gives him a little frying pan.
The birds went directly for that eye.
Yeah, they're like hawks waiting for it.
If that wasn't, already good enough, the guy goes to disembowel himself, and then Ricky's like, "No, don't do that." And he's like, "Come here, I got you now," and chokes him with his own intestines.
Yeah.
But the line is just so great. It's like, "You got a lot of guts, Oscar."
This is a very quotable movie. There are some really great quotes in it. But also that same, he's trying to help that guy.
He's a good person inside.
Yeah. You know what I did not need to see was Asa's fucking tongue like the nub of it that's in there. That was really gross. And I was like eating a sandwich while I was watching that.
Awesome. In the yard, when the other three heavenly kings, the gang of three now.
One of them's a girl, one of them's a dork.
So Tarzan slaps the guy's head into mush, just claps his fucking head off.
Yeah, like you microwave a cantaloupe or something. When you look this movie up, if you just click on image and click on GIF or GIF, that little bit is always there. It's just him like smacking that guy's head off.
Awesome.
It does look very cool. Okay, in the manga, he is constantly playing that little, like, I guess it's a poppy leaf?
Yeah.
I don't know where he gets that
That's
thing.
a regular leaf, because when Asa, is that what you call him?
Yes, the mute guy.
Yeah. When he has it, it's a poppy leaf, and that's when
Ricky figures
that's when
out.
Ricky realizes something's up. Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, he sits up when they're sitting on that staircase and he makes him that flute, or gives him the flute. He stands up and just has a pile of those things in his lap. He has like 100 of them in his lap. It's just weird.
But I've never been,
You've never done heroin before? Is that what you...
I've never tried to play a poppy flute.
I can make a piece of, like a blade of grass whistle.
Yeah. I used to do that when I was a kid, hold it between your thumbs and blow on it. But
Yep. Hold it between your thumbs and blow on it. Tim Cornman.
He doesn't explain to the kid either, like, oh, by the way, I play flute. I've been playing flute since I was a kid,
Right.
In the animation, this Asa is like 4 years old.
Really?
He's a young child. Yeah. So when I saw this kid, I was like, is he a prisoner? But no, they said he was the godson or whatever of one of the guys that just died, wasn't it?
Yes.
They say that he's the godson in the movie as well.
He looks like a prisoner. He's just a kid that has his tongue cut off. I don't understand the reason why he's even a mute.
In the manga, the girl guy, this is very confusing. What did I say her? Rogan?
Yeah.
He is like her kind of little friend. And so this is like a big betrayal when she's actually the one that cuts his tongue out because he discovered the poppy operation.
Okay.
And he was going to tell. So
I think I remember seeing that in the animation now that you brought it up. Yeah.
She chops his lower face off with that big survival knife. And then it cuts to a scene of him skinned outside. And it is so gross. It looks like Necromantic or something, where it's just like like Uncle Frank in Hellraiser.
Yeah, I was telling Tim about one of the like super gory, crazy manga artists, the Junji Ito, I think is his name.
Yes.
And all of his stuff is just awesome.
Oh,
it's
for sure.
Just crazy, gory and just
morbidly funny. And
yeah.
Why was that guy with the like Yakuza tattoos, why was he like flayed? Who did that to him? Because I think one of them did it, one of the gang of four,
right?
To blame it on Ricky, maybe?
That's what I got out of it, that they were like, look what Ricky did.
Right.
Yeah, they're trying to turn everybody against Ricky, so like...
But nobody liked that dude either.
Well, they're trying to get him to turn on Ricky. That's why they're like, here, take the knife. See what he did to your godfather? Blah, blah,
gotcha. Blah. Okay, that makes a little more sense. Yeah, his corpse looks really gross.
It's very bad, yeah.
A lot of flaying in a couple of scenes.
But really, that backskin tattoo tapestry is pretty... ties that room together.
Yep.
Yeah.
It really does.
That's feng shui.
Now that's feng shui. That's what they should have said at the end of that scene.
Yeah, when they find Ace's body just mangled and disgusting in the yard.
Like coyotes have been eating it or something.
I thought his name was Alan. In the dub I was watching, his name's Alan.
I love it when they do that.
Well, I mean, his godfather's Oscar, so.
Yeah.
I mean,
Do you think a poppy fire would get you high if you like breathe the fumes of it?
I was thinking the same thing. Why are they not just like, oh man.
Right.
well, I think even somebody says it, they're like, what's that smell?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's that strange smell.
It's opium.
So we go to the assistant warden's office and he's doing a little smackdown on one of the guards. And another guard pops in. It's kind of comical. It's one of those Three Stooges bits almost, where the guy gets hit by the door. The guard that walks in, his outfit is like 4 sizes too big for him. You could barely see his fingers outside the sleeves. Yeah. There just seems like there's a whole lot of why you moments in this.
Why I oughta.
Yeah, why I oughta.
Like there should be a lot more fake beards and a fat society dame involved.
Yeah.
Yes. I actually would have enjoyed it a lot more.
I think maybe an exploding cigar, the only thing this movie was missing.
Yep.
There's a scene where the Poppy barn is burning down.
Yeah, it's him and K-pop girl Rogan.
She hits him in his death spot. Is that what it says?
Yeah.
It's one of those 5-finger death punch type things.
Yes.
Ricky's going to die.
Right. Except that he's learned how to move his death spot or something. That sounds very Kung Fu plot-esque.
He has this vision of his Japanese Leonard Nimoy uncle telling him that he can defeat death, kind of. So Ricky basically just does his own chest compressions by beating himself in his chest to get his heart pumping again.
Yeah.
Kind of like the way that we thought that Warren Oates, was trying to keep himself alive when he was having chest pains for 6 months before he passed. Right?
Exactly.
Keep beating heart.
Yeah.
Just pretend it's Mark Wahlberg in Fear.
Yeah.
Yeah, Warren Oates' constant diet of just raw meat and cigarettes. Turns out that is not good for you.
He probably washed it down with nothing but fucking scotch, too. So,
And Tarzan pops in, and I think he just wants to try himself against Ricky, so he's kind of jumping in and not letting him kill him. Is that what you guys got out of it?
well, yeah, they throw the pins and all the wires. Tie him up and
the
everything.
crochet needles.
He looks
and just
like
tie him up and.
He looks like a pork roast.
Yeah, Tarzan's like, no, he's mine. I got him.
But what's this weapon that he has? This giant ass pitchfork? What is that?
It's what they call a man catcher.
Oh, I mean, man, that's what I mean.
Indeed.
Gotta get me one of those.
It's like a when you like are using a plastic fork and you snap one of the tines off.
No, it's a giant people fork.
Yes. Yeah. That guy is enormous. I mean, he's like 2 heads taller than Ricky is.
He looks like he's 7 feet tall or something.
Yeah. And then those guns come out. Those guns, if you pause on them, are very fake looking. And like the wall is rubber. I'm not exactly sure why, but when you see those things fire, they kind of like press down on. It was meant to be like reinforced steel or something. So they just painted like, plastic gray, and it just looks like.
Well, it looks like it's supposed to be maybe like iron plates or something.
Yes.
On a concrete hole.
Right.
Or a concrete wall or bunker or some shit.
Right.
But yeah, and the guns don't even match.
Yes, exactly.
One of them looks like a Browning and then the other one looks like the MG42. It's like, hold on. You guys have like Ally and Nazi guns? How does this happen?
They didn't think that we would, years later, go back and watch frame by frame and tell you guys about it.
Hey, you think somebody's going to pay attention to different guns? Nah.
Nobody will ever look at the minutia of this movie and...
They're going to remember dude's head explodes.
Yes.
And the one guy gets his face peeled off.
Yes. That was gross, too. That also happens exactly the same in the comic book, as she slices the lower half of his face off, and then a scene later, and he doesn't have any skin at all. So the assistant warden has this, like, kind of ceremonial greeting for the warden when he comes back, but like the warden's late. Is that what it is? So they all just like,
I guess,
fall asleep.
Yeah, just comical falling asleep.
Yeah.
Right before that, we have Tarzan Tarzan taking Ricky back to his cell, and he gets trapped in the cell, the concrete trap.
Oh, yeah.
All of these like cells have traps built in.
But was that a trap, or was that just like part of the construction they were doing?
You know, every corner of this prison has more traps in it than a fucking D&D game.
Yeah.
I mean, I swear I was like, somebody's got to have a bag of holding or like,
Right.
you know, staff of the Archmage. That's how Ricky's doing this.
How are they keeping that cement wet, like, at night?
Yeah.
I mean, that should be dried up.
You got a big mixer going all the time.
Right.
That's what's bothering you.
I mean, it's a question that, yeah, it is bothering me now.
So then Ricky saves Tarzan yet again.
Right.
And carries his caked,
But
this cement caked ass upstairs. I think that was really him carrying up the stairs.
maybe.
He looked like he was struggling.
Yeah. I kind of wanted them to get frozen in place, like, as they were walking up. But
Human statue.
yes.
Is anybody else, though, disturbed about the warden's son?
Yes. He is by far the grossest character in the entire movie.
And he doesn't do anything.
No.
What do you expect when your dad's the warden of a prison and he decides to wear a tux?
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
I mean, that's your dad.
So the assistant warden has to explain that the entire poppy farm has burned to the ground. The warden starts clutching at his chest and he says, "Get my pills, hurry."
Yes.
Since when are Mike and Ike's a cure for a heart attack?
Those are hot tamales.
Yeah, they bring out like M&Ms and like, you know, sweet tarts and
Yeah.
fucking Red Hots.
Yeah. Here is the grossest thing about the entire movie. One of those jars are those Easter candies that they only sell at Easter, and they're basically just chalk.
They're like
different-
Jordan almonds. You can only find those at weddings, right?
So gross. Who eats those?
No, those aren't M&Ms. Those are runts, the little fruit-shaped
Oh, man.
ones.
Well, I'll eat a runt.
Except for the banana ones. The banana runts are gross.
You know, that's so gross that you used to be able to, like, there were machines that would just, like, pour out a handful of them, and I get you're just supposed to pop them in your mouth right there.
Yeah. Or put them in your pocket for later. You know,
Ew.
gather a little lint.
Yeah.
The assistant warden takes the warden down to see Ricky, who is still covered in cement, but also chained to the ceiling. Now, if he's totally plastered, why do you really need to chain him to the ceiling? But
There's a lot of Ricky just faking being weak.
yes.
Yeah.
He could have left the prison forever ago.
Oh, yeah. He could have broken out of the prison in the beginning of the movie, but maybe
Right.
he was sticking around to try to save these people.
Yeah, and bust up the opium ring.
Yes, I think that's the overall thing, is when he finds out that it's opium, you know, then that's just his, you know, what killed his sister. So now he's just, but it's like, he's so strong. He could have gotten all this done, like,
He's not very efficient, is what you're saying. What you're saying?
no. Of course, I guess he is waiting for the warden to get back.
Yeah.
So maybe he was just, you know.
Well, and then Tarzan come busting through the wall like the Kool-Aid Man here.
Oh, wait, that was Fat Albert.
Oh, yeah!
Not at all like Fat Albert.
So, yeah, he's in this specialized booby trap cell.
Mm-hmm.
The assistant warden says something to the warden, like, when he's pushing Ricky's head through the bars of the cell, he's like, "You got to see
Yes.
this because his head's just going to pop."
Yeah, he used to do this with coconuts.
Yeah, that's what it is. He's done this before.
So this scene is probably the most notable for me. What I remember when I think of Riki-Oh is the punch through the bottom of the chin and out the mouth.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like uppercut through the mouth.
Followed up by the hand explosion.
Oh, when they punch fists and it just turns into
Yes.
hamburger meat.
Well,
it's
and that's after he
disgusting.
had punched through his other arm. Yeah,
Yes.
like shattered
He blew
through
out
his
his
elbow.
elbow. Yeah.
Oh, and the fingers hit the floor.
So now we're in a booby trap
But
situation.
things like Tarzan, we got to get out of here together.
Yeah. Well, and Tarzan's helping him, to keep the roof from coming down on him and everything.
Yeah.
That's why I said it's like a D&D module in this place.
So it's just the hydraulic ceiling trying to crush him, and Ricky's trying to hold it up. There's a big hole in the wall. You can escape through that hole in the wall that Tarzan just came through.
Also, he's kind of burying the lead a little bit because here in a second, he just jumps through the bars. Why didn't you do that like 3 hours ago?
Like how he did to get out of the room full of concrete. He just jumped through a steel door.
Yes.
Like a solid steel door. He just flies through it like it was tinfoil.
Yes. He can do anything. He's like...
He can do whatever the script needs for that scene.
Yes.
Right.
Those are his secret
Jesus.
powers.
Do you think Jesus could pick up Thor's hammer? There's a follow-up to this. I'm just watching the warden's son, and they put him on a chair so that you can see more of his disturbing legs. His little fat legs.
I don't understand why his legs bother me. They just do.
It's very gross.
Ricky jumps through the bars of the cell, and he's trying to save Tarzan, but he's, oh my God, just trying to watch him talk with whatever meat is hanging off of his lips and blood pouring out.
Yeah.
How does he make any kind of words, actually?
I wish we had seen that last, like some gore squish out.
Splattering out as it just, the final squish.
Instead, a photograph squishes out. I don't know how that thing is sitting there.
Yeah, he had that clenched between his butt cheeks, too.
Oh,
it just went, it just like splooshed it out.
So now there's a trap door in the floor that Ricky falls through. We didn't see where he went. He just disappeared.
No, it was very like the old like black and white Flash Gordon kind of like just drop through a trap door.
Saying now he's fighting orcs and goblins and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, this is a D&D adventure. That's what this movie is. And that's something else, like, throughout this entire movie, like, the thing I just can't get over is who hired these guards? They're worthless. Like,
yeah, they're bad at their jobs.
Like, Ricky, puts his fist through some guy, and he comes, the guard comes waving a baton in his face, like, you better stop that.
Yeah, they're basically all Don Knotts.
I'm gonna.
Yeah.
Why is the warden in a matador suit?
I don't know. So when they have this like little, when they're burying Ricky after that scene, he's just in a big hole in the dirt.
He's got a giant chain wrapped around him. And
yeah, they look like Halloween decorations.
So they're making all the prisoners turn against Ricky by burying him one shovel at a time.
Each one has to put in a shovel full. So it's like you're all going to get your hands dirty on this one.
Right. Those first two guys that they're trying to get to do it, their names are hilarious. They're popped up on the subtitles. Their names are Brain Cell.
Yes.
Hang on. I have it here somewhere.
Brain Cell and Placenta?
Oh, no.
Maybe.
Polyp?
Ew.
Hemorrhoid?
Oh, that would be a good name. It's like Animal House names. Okay, now you are going to be Brain Cell. You, Big Boy, and Brain Cell. I cannot tell which one is which because they look very similar, but...
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. I just really wanted to find that because it was very weird.
But no, they throw the dirt right at Ricky's face and chest. It's not like
sorry,
they're like,
Ricky.
oh, sorry, Ricky, but I could have thrown this to the side. It's still going to fill in the hole.
Right. The warden didn't say hit him in the face with a shovel full of dirt.
You're like, hey, Ricky, sorry about this. Them's the breaks, right?
Yeah.
Might want to keep your mouth closed for this.
Yeah, exactly. And go down and rub it into your hair.
But they give him a piece of bamboo to breathe through.
He's just going to stay out there tonight and think about what he did.
Isn't that kind of defeating the purpose, though? Like burying somebody alive, but you give him an air tube.
Yeah, and especially Ricky.
He shoves that pole down for Ricky. It's like between his legs.
Right.
I don't know how he's going to be breathing.
It's like how you do like
this.
compost. Yeah.
It's got a hole right there where his face would be or something.
And then we get a shot of a dog hanging out.
Yeah, there's like a mastiff.
Has never been in the film whatsoever.
No. He looks like a good boy, but that's all I know.
Doesn't he like play the big bamboo tube like a flute as well?
Well, he splits it in half.
Well, but that's after they stuffed the heart down there.
Right.
Because for no reason at all, our girl jumps out of the water hole and kicks the dog in half.
Yeah.
In half.
I did not like that. And also one of the best effects in the movie. It looked really real.
Yeah, it's sad, isn't it?
So the bamboo splits in half, and Ricky has the dog's heart shoved in his mouth, but he doesn't spit it out. What do you...
No, and then he falls asleep.
Well, he's going to be there for like 7 days, man. He's got to be hungry.
I thought for sure they were going to close in on his eyes and make like chewing, like he was actually eating the heart.
Yeah.
I mean, what else?
I assume that's what he was doing.
He needs his strength.
So now we're going back to look at Ricky's sister. Is this how she was kidnapped and put into the slave trade, or
yes.
what?
Yeah.
This is where the whole thing. I think it's like a 20-year-old girl supposed to be playing like a 14 or 15-year-old girl.
And she just walks in on guys shooting up
In the park.
Yeah.
You don't want to get caught shooting up. Maybe don't do it in the public park.
Yeah, they look like they were next to like a McDonald's playland or something. They were like plastic like furniture and stuff. Although, that would be fun. Crawl up into Mayor McCheese's head, do smack.
Shoot up some heroin and smoke some opium.
Yeah. Get on one of those like toys that's just a big coil, that just like rocks alarmingly back and forth.
Her run up the stairs and off the building. I'm sorry, I laughed.
That was making me laugh too. It looked very realistic when she hit the street.
She did not bounce.
No, she did not. But also, she hit that street fucking head first. And the very next scene, her face looks perfect. I mean, she hit hard enough that one of her shoes flew off. And there's no like road rash or anything on her face.
Right at the very beginning, whenever Ricky, they do the x-ray of, you can see him crushing the guy's skull, but then like you see his face and he's just got like some blood coming out of his mouth.
Yeah.
You're like, you just collapsed the front of that guy's head.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is where we get to see Ricky's poncho.
Which this is directly, this is like in the very first issue of the manga, is him getting shot, and he has the camouflage. Why does he have to jump in the air to kick a guy in the shin? Thought that was weird.
He blows his knee out, then punches what looks like
a donut.
It's a jelly-filled donut into the guy's head.
Yeah, he's like, I had this surgically installed in my emergency donut.
A person should not have calves bigger than their thighs.
That's so weird. No. You figure those people were on like one of those Conan wheels, but it only did like, it was only for calves.
It's only leg day every day.
Yes. Oh my God. That is torture.
So back from Ricky's flashback, they now bring in the backhoe to dig him out. Mm-hmm. That's got to be some precision digging, not to just rip him in half.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. And you see they pluck him right out by the chain.
Oh, man. By the chain.
I know.
That guy's good. That guy could flip a dime over him.
That guy has a lot of stuffed animals.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yep. My claw game.
Yeah, he's ruling that claw machine, man. I'm telling you. They keep putting chains around Ricky like, has that worked yet?
Yeah. Have you not seen the first hour of this movie?
Every time they wrap him in chains and he just goes, bing.
Yeah. Also, they're giving him a wedgie with that. It's like a worse than an atomic wedgie.
Oh, and then he gets pimp slapped by the backloader or whatever.
He came out of that pretty fast, breaking the chains, doing a flip, landing, everybody's happy, and then he gets smacked by the backhoe.
Yeah. if you watch those extras, they all do the same motion over and over again. They're just like randomly pointing at things, and they're not very good extras.
So the contraption that's supposed to keep Ricky in place now is just a bunch of rebar.
Yeah.
Sharpened, bent rebar.
How did he get in that?
I don't know.
Looks like a art installation or something.
Yeah.
It's like Concrete Man.
Yeah. Yeah.
I am the concrete that holds this rebar together.
And they are smacking him with a big ass wrench.
Yeah.
Just
getting pimp slapped with a wrench.
That guy is definitely Chinese Gilbert Gottfried now that I've seen him up close. That's exactly what he looks like.
So, and then Rogan K-pop girl here gives Ricky the handful of razor blades in the mouth. Like,
oh, yeah.
Disgusting.
I love that.
And then tapes his mouth shut.
Yep, I love that.
I mean, holy Christ.
That's taken it up a notch even for this movie.
Yeah, Saw has nothing on that shit.
Oh, and she taps his dick with that rebar.
yes. That's how she gets him to open his mouth.
That's right.
Yeah.
She pimp slaps him to where the razor blades are sticking out of his cheeks.
But then he sprays him right in the warden's face. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
That
The warden
is
pulls the
gross.
tape off of his mouth to get him to talk or something. And that is not sanitary.
And he should have known that this was going to happen if he's...
Just a big spray of blood
They're
and
just
razor
like
blades.
ting, 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 ting. Yes, I like that.
So they have now bound Ricky with the biggest chains that they could find.
Yeah. Get me bigger chains.
Bro, I think Ricky's in chains in this movie as much as Sloth in the Goonies or something.
Yeah. Also, all the chains, especially these big ones, look like they're from Halloween Express. Like they're definitely just plastic. For sure.
Like he's going to be like that My Little Monster stuffed thing they had back in the day. He had the little breakable cuffs.
It was a weird toy.
Yeah, it was fun though.
It was an ugly toy.
He's given this food by this kid or whoever. I don't even know who this kid was. The plate has an inscription on the bottom after he eats the rice off of it that says, "Don't give up." Why couldn't the kid just tell him that? Don't give up, Ricky.
Right. Also, a different person walking away from that scene than who was talking to him. It was a young guy talking to him, and then the guy that runs off has like a bald patch on the back of his head. Just, I'm not nitpicking, but that was obvious.
But the assistant warden has used his hook hand several times to drag bodies down.
Yeah, just meat hook drags.
It does come in handy. Also, all those cells are open. The prisoners are like, they open their cell to get a better look at what's going on. Why is anyone even in this prison?
So, and the top of the Fink's head just came off.
I love that, man.
Just punches the top of his head off.
Yes.
And then pops the assistant warden's other eye out.
Oh. Ooh.
Which is his father. Let me just remind you, that's his dad.
Yes. A very, very poor makeup effects. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of Street Fighter movies with Sonny Chiba.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
The special effects in those are just so clearly like a styrofoam head that he's...
It seems like almost just a trope with a lot of the Asian culture in like a lot of their movies and animated stuff. Like everybody has like 55 gallons of blood.
Right. They're just blood sacks.
And their blood pressure is like through the roof because everybody just sprays like a, fire hydrant.
Right. Those stairs that the warden or the assistant warden falls down, so many people have fallen down those stairs. Everybody.
Ricky and like half the cast.
John Ritter came in and fell down him. Dick Van Dyke.
All the prisoners are going after the assistant warden, and they cut his arm off. They stab him in the neck, and
yes, that was pretty cool. That guy just runs up and stabs him with a bottle.
stabs him right in the neck with the broken bottle.
Yeah. All of a sudden, they have like Flash Gordon riot gear on.
Yes.
Yeah.
With like spikes and...
He punches through the shield and through the guy's midsection. It's awesome.
Yes. And they leave the scene. They're like, anybody want to get that arm that's back there? Oh, well, we'll get it later.
The warden's son has the like Scooby-Doo style,
man.
like nightshirt and nightcap.
So disturbing. They just carried off the assistant warden like he was Rudy.
Yeah, like they did.
Just carried him off the field.
Yep, fade out.
But yeah, we're hitting the gore super show portion of the movie.
Yeah. But it also is very like Peter Jackson, Bad Taste, and Dead Alive.
Oh, yeah.
Especially the final, the final boss.
Yeah. Is this the kitchen of the prison?
Yeah.
Because this kitchen is pristine.
The whole prison looks really great until they splatter it all with blood.
Yeah. Whole place is clean as hell.
But there's a lot of opportunities in a giant industrial kitchen for things to... a lot of bladed things.
For a giant freaking meat grinder?
Oh, the grinders and saws and everything like that, they will tear you apart.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah. Like those slicers, like you'd slice like a ham with or something.
Well, like a meat saw, it's designed to go through like meat and bone, no problem.
Yeah. And that's what we're made out of.
Yeah. Mostly.
Or I guess some
Is
of us
that
are.
the whole reason why that the warden got his son out of his sleepy bedtime to come down and sample some food?
So want that kid to end up in the grinder.
I know.
Real missed opportunity there.
The assistant warden just burst like the guy from Big Trouble in Little China.
Yes.
After getting shot.
Explain why that happened.
He has the special bullets that make you explode. He said they're like for elephants or some shit. Which
Is that what he said? They're
still
for
makes no
elephants?
sense.
I glossed right over that. I did not see that. Now that makes a lot more sense. Do you notice that the warden walks past and ashes in the grinder as that guy's cleaning it?
But then he kicks the guy into it and just devours his arm in that meat grinder.
He also is kind of wearing like Seinfeld's like puffy shirt, sort of. It's like tied at the top.
So yeah, and then the knitting needle villain here, he's trying to take down Ricky. I think it's so funny whenever he goes to make his escape and the warden shoots him right in the ass with one of the explodey bullets.
Yeah.
And just blows up in a tiny little dumbwaiter or some shit.
Right. Yes. He also leaves the kitchen and he says, "Don't let anybody starve to death." I don't know if he means just give everybody the minimum amount of...
Well, that's what he was talking about while his son was there. It was like, okay, you take half of what you're going to give him in vegetables and half of the beans.
Right.
And then they can have meat for dinner. He's like, they won't starve. They'll be fine.
I mean, that's a pretty sensible diet plan, actually.
Well, it's also, hey, we can't make any money if we're paying all this money for food to feed all these assholes.
Right.
Yeah, but you still need to keep them alive.
Yeah, just barely.
They're like weeks away from a Soylent Green type situation where they're just grinding up the prisoners.
I think they're moments away from that since it's just getting ready to happen. Everybody's going into the grinder.
I gotta admit, that guy's arm ground up pretty nice.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it looked like a good...
It looked very lean.
Low fat. Yeah, real lean. Really lean.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's ground chuck.
It's just got enough fat in it that it...
It's pronounced ground chung.
Oh, God. I'm coming over there, Tim, to make sure that that's cut out.
All right, I'm gonna hold him down until you get here.
Yeah. Okay, good.
So this fight scene goes on for quite some time.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's coming after Ricky.
Yeah. They're throwing other inmates at him.
Bringing a vent hood down on his ass and hitting him with scorching steam water. And Oh, yeah, and he just throws the K-pop girl's leg into the hot shit and then breaks it off.
Oh, yeah.
Was that steam or was that cryogenic chamber? I don't.
It's steam the way it comes out, you know.
I thought it was like a topping, like a ranch dressing or something like that.
It's whipped cream.
You always have just big, high-pressure tubes of sour cream.
I don't know. I haven't worked in a kitchen in quite some time.
I don't think this is representative of how kitchens work.
No?
Normal.
So there goes the warden's son, finally, thankfully. Get his goofy ass out.
Has he been dispatched? I need to...
No, they just took him away. I really wanted him to die.
Yes, please. Please.
If you guys remember here, the dialogue, he's like, yeah, I'm a warden, but did you know that to be a warden in a prison like this, you have to be a kung fu master. You got to have that on your resume.
Yeah, you're like, wait, what?
And he's doing a little Stretch Armstrong kind of thing here, too, which is weird.
Now, this is what I was reading earlier in like the trivia stuff, is that the reason why the warden was taking those pills or he was eating the Mike and Ikes was because it was keeping him from hulking out like he is now.
Right.
He dispatched of his kids just so he wouldn't see Hulk version of his dad, right?
I guess.
This is where it's full-on gore villain. Like, I'm pretty sure he was at a show I saw.
Yeah.
He punches right through him. It's just disgusting Japanese monster man.
I do like this transformation scene.
Yeah, the giant rubber muscles and everything. It's just too great.
Yeah. It's very Peter Jackson-esque. This is like the end of Dead Alive.
Yeah, wasn't he a character in Meet the Feebles?
Yeah. I do not like the snot coming out of the guy's nose.
They had to make him a little juicy.
Ugh.
Out of all the gross things in this film, that's what's bothering you.
I don't like snot. That is the like fourth time that the actor has been jerked back into a wall, and it does not look like it's definitely him.
Maybe he's just that good at jumping backwards.
I maybe.
Oh, and here goes the warden into the big giant meat grinder.
He has picked up a couple of people by the crotch, has he not?
Yeah, he does that like WWF like body throw.
Yep.
But the amount of blood and goop that's just flying up, it is very... This scene seems like the lawnmower scene in Dead Alive.
Oh,
just
yeah.
spraying.
When he has the warden up and is holding him and his legs are kind of kicking, it looks exactly like Henrietta from Evil Dead 2 when she's kind of flying around and stuff.
So yeah, now a whole bunch of the guards are out there like they're going to fucking do anything.
They've just been running from one room to the other the entire movie.
Oh, they're actually hitting people with the batons.
The batons are just baseball bats with like nails stuck in them.
So Ricky runs out into the yard to show everybody that he's killed the warden, but he's got the giant freaking guar head of the warden. Nobody's going to recognize that.
Yeah. I mean, who the fuck is that guy?
Unless they've seen him Hulk out before.
So Ricky punches the biggest hole in the wall.
And instead of escaping, all of the prisoners just stand back and cheer.
Yeah. We're
Bye,
free.
Ricky.
We're free.
Thanks, Ricky. You're the best.
We realize you could have done that the entire film instead of us getting tortured, but yay.
Well, thanks for busting up that opium ring. And
yep. What are you going to do on the outside? Get a little... Settle down, grow some opium. No. Whoops. You can see all of the strings in the world when that wall comes down, too. They didn't do anything to try to hide those. He comes back 5 years later and everybody's still celebrating. It's like, guys, you can leave. You're institutional.
What the hell are you guys still doing here? They're like, well, we thought we'd start a profitable opium business.
Oh. Turns out opium poppies just grow really well right there. Well, that was a story, and there was a guy named Ricky, apparently.
Riki-Oh, the story of Ricky.
Rikiray?
Why?
We'll never know.
Because we have no fucking idea.
Oh my god. In the credits, it says next from hair. Did you see that at the very bottom?
No.
One of the credits says next from hair. And I am not completely certain, but I think that is Ricky's hairstylist.
Oh.
And their name is Next. I'm not making this up.
I think you're making that up.
I mean, I am making parts of it up.
But not the good parts.
And also the whole thing is made up too.
Yep, that was gross. But I still remember it being grosser.
That was gross.
I remember it having less of a story and more of an O.
Right.
Oh.
O-H. Like, oh. Oh.
Ricky. Oh.
Yep. Maybe that's how you're supposed to say it. I love movies with a colon in them. I just want to say about the warden's son, the disgusting son. He's a lot like the kid in Caddyshack.
Yeah?
You know, like I want a hamburger. No, I want a cheeseburger.
You'll get nothing and like it. I think this movie had a few moments of, oh, you don't see that every day, or...
Really need a barf bag for it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's...
And we're going to need a mop, probably.
Yes.
Gonna need a shop vac.
Yeah. Wet, dry.
It's going to have to be wet and dry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
To get those hard-to-reach chunks.
Ooh, ugh. That's what we can say about this movie, is it was chunky.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah. It had a lot of...
Very chunky
a
style.
lot of meaty bits.
There's a lot of meat on those bones.
It was like a movie version of a Dinty Moore beef stew, kind of.
Oh.
Canned stew.
And not stew as in like...
The guy from The Simpsons.
S-T-U. That's... yeah.
Not disco stew.
Not disco stew.
Well...
All right.
I in my mind, I'm shaking both of your hands right now, clapping you on the shoulder.
At the same time.
I'm patting myself on the ass.
And rubbing your stomach at the same time. And chewing gum.
I'm doing things that I'd rather not say, but I will.
Okay, go on. Go tell us everything.
Yeah.
First, you started at the taint.
Ew.
And then, you
Joe, come on.
All right, though, that concludes
Yes.
Joe's commentary. Yeah. Thank you. There's the door.
You know what to do with it.
If this is your first time listening to the podcast, the show always ends talking about my taint.
Yeah.
I'm sure we've said that word several times before now.
Probably.
Taintfully speaking.
Yeah. Well, we're getting a quarter every time we say it, so.
Oh, is that it?
We're in bed with big taint. Don't even know what that means.
We're also in good with big lotion, I'm guessing.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. Well, I think we've said just about all there is to say about Riki-Oh. I wish we could have followed down some of the treks on some of the characters and character actors, but...
we might sweep up some of the pieces next week. Some unanswered questions.
We've got some connections, but I think that there is a whole just treasure trove of oddball shit out there from the Japanese.
Oh, yeah.
That we haven't even tickled.
No.
Like I said, there's so much, just insane movies, simple premise most of the time, but just the length that they'll take an idea a lot of times.
Yeah.
Like take it over the top.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Over the top and then back and heavy back in time for good sushi and sake.
Ah.
Yep.
All right. Well, let's wrap this bitch up. Jason, why don't you tell everybody where they can find us?
Well, they can go to themoratorium.com.
Yay.
Woo.
Where can they find us in the Dewey Decimal System?
Yeah, we'll be at the library. That's where we do our podcast, is from the library.
We hang out in the microfish section, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Did you say microfish?
Yeah.
I think that's what he said.
We're all about the interesting world of periodicals, baby.
All right. You can also find us on social media. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter,
LinkedIn,
OnlyFans,
MySpace.
That's right. You want the OnlyFans footage of my taint?
Oh, yeah. There it is again.
Slide into old Joe's DMs, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. Nothing like OnlyFans.
Did you say BM?
/ joestaint.com.
He said old Joe. Somehow that sounds worse.
This taint ain't getting any younger, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Oh. All right, guys. Now, if you want to support this podcast, you can do that for just a mere few dollars. You can join our Patreon for as low as $1 a month. Hey, you can even throw us just a few bones and buy us a beer here and there. That's fine with us. But if you want to spend $3 a month. $3.
Only 3.
What is that? Like a half a pack of cigarettes?
A $2 bill plus a $1 bill.
That's like 2 cigarettes. For 2 cigarettes, you can support this podcast and we'll give you something back. Not only will you get a shout out on the show, you will get the director's cuts of our movie episodes, which on average are at least 20 minutes longer. There are 5 different tiers on our Patreon for you to support us. You can also support us by buying some merchandise. Hey, go to Teespring, find us at the Moratorium, and you can buy our t-shirts, stickers, face masks, hoodies. What else we got in there, Jason?
Personal lubricants?
Face masks. When you said that, it made me think like our faces that other people could wear. Which is disturbing.
Oh, that's coming. That's coming, guys.
What, like in that movie Face Off?
Oh, yeah. They've already done that, Tim.
Okay. If my choices are between Nicolas Cage and John Travolta, I'll take none.
Oh, my God. Nicolas Cage's face is so big, you have to just like lace it in the back and just get it as tight as you possibly can. I've heard.
Wow.
There must be some sort of like going competition between his nose and his teeth.
Yes. Constantly at war with each other.
Like which can protrude more in a really odd way.
Yeah, there's that.
All right, guys, let's shut this bitch down. Joe, you have anything else to offer?
Actually, I was going to say, hey, y'all, get over to the Moratorium and listen to these assholes in their podcasts. Because every once in a while, there might be somebody like me in there.
Mm-hmm.
A real asshole.
Yes.
And, stick it in your ear holes. Or if you don't have ear holes, put it in another place, maybe for safekeeping.
Or if you have that weird phobia of holes, then I don't know what to tell you. This probably isn't the podcast for you.
Yeah, there's a lot of hole talk going on here.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me on, guys. It was a pleasure to come in and be a moron for a couple hours.
Hey,
and
resemble that comment.
I'm glad to be in good company then.
That's it. All right, Jason, you got anything else to offer?
I have absolutely nothing to offer.
All right.
Isolate that.
Loop
it.
Revenge of the motherfucker.
All right, let's shut this bitch down. Good night, guys.
Bye.
Good night, Opie.
Good night, John Boy.
Good night, Ricky.
Or Riki-Oh.
Oh.
You've been listening to The Moratorium, an MT Cornfield production. Next week, we bring in the sanitizing crew and pick up all the chunks left over from Riki-Oh. And with that, we bid you kung fu. If you have any movie suggestions, or just want to tell us how much we really suck, you can contact us at moviemoratorium@gmail.com. Thanks for listening, and long live VHS.
Your pronunciation is perfect. It's just you keep on saying penis.